Once upon a time, in the deep blue ocean, there was a vibrant and magical world filled with fascinating marine animals. Let's dive into this underwater adventure and meet some of the incredible creatures that call the ocean their home. Our story begins with Sammy the seahorse, a tiny and colorful creature with a curly tail. Sammy loved to explore the coral reefs and swim with his friends. One sunny day, while Sammy was busy exploring, he stumbled upon a sparkling treasure chest. He carefully opened it and found a mysterious map inside. The map led Sammy to the hidden kingdom of Bella, the graceful and majestic mermaid. Bella had long flowing hair and a beautiful tail that shimmered in shades of blue and green. She greeted Sammy with a warm smile and told him about the magical creatures that lived in the depths of the ocean. Eager to meet these extraordinary animals, Sammy and Bella set off on an exciting journey. As they swam deeper into the ocean, they encountered Benny, the bottlenose dolphin, who is known for his playful nature and incredible acrobatic jumps. Benny joined their adventure, leaping through the waves and guiding them to the next destination. Their next encounter was with Tilly the sea turtle, a wise and gentle creature. Tilly had traveled across the vast ocean and shared tales of her adventures with Sammy, Bella, and Benny. Tilly explained the importance of keeping the ocean clean and protecting their home from pollution. Inspired by her words, the friends promised to do their part in preserving the ocean's beauty. Continuing their journey, they stumbled upon a school of vibrant fish, led by Finley, the clownfish. With his bright orange and white stripes, Finley was a natural-born entertainer. He made the friends laugh with his funny antics and introduced them to his fishy friends, each with their unique patterns and colors. As they swam deeper into the ocean, they encountered a mysterious creature hiding in the shadows. It was Olivia, the octopus, with her 8 long tentacles and mesmerizing ability to change colors. Olivia was shy but kind-hearted. She shared her wisdom about camouflage and taught the friends how to blend into their surroundings. Finally, the friends reached a magical underwater garden filled with beautiful coral and swaying plants. In the heart of the garden lived Max the manta ray, a gentle giant with a wingspan that seemed to touch the sky. Max invited the friends to ride on his back and glide through the ocean currents, feeling the thrill of the underwater world. With their hearts full of joy and wonder, the friends bid farewell to Max and made their way back to their homes. Sammy, Bella, Benny, Tilly, Finley, Olivia, and Max had formed an unbreakable bond and promised to meet again soon for more adventures. From that day on, they spread the importance of protecting marine life and the ocean, inspiring others to cherish and care for their underwater friends. And so, the magical world beneath the waves remained a sanctuary for all the magnificent marine animals who lived in harmony, forever cherished and loved. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled amongst rolling hills, lived a little boy named Timmy. Timmy loved exploring the world around him, and he always found joy in the little things. But there was one thing that made him sad: wasting food. Timmy's village was known for its bountiful harvests and delicious meals, but sometimes people would take more food than they could eat, and it would end up going to waste. Timmy couldn't understand why anyone would let such precious food go uneaten. One sunny day, as Timmy roamed the village, he stumbled upon a magical garden hidden behind an old oak tree. The garden was unlike any he had ever seen before. It was filled with vibrant fruits and vegetables of all shapes and sizes, and the air was fragrant with the sweet scent of freshly baked bread. Curiosity sparked within Timmy's heart, and he tiptoed into the garden. To his surprise, the plants began to whisper and giggle as he approached. "Welcome, Timmy. We have been waiting for you," they chimed in unison. Timmy's eyes widened with wonder. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice filled with excitement. "We are the food guardians," replied the plants. "We are here to teach you a valuable lesson about the importance of not wasting food." Intrigued, Timmy listened intently as the food guardians explained how every fruit, vegetable, and grain was a gift from nature. They shared stories of their journey, from tiny seeds to nourishing food, and how each morsel had a purpose: to provide energy and sustenance to those who needed it. "But what happens when food is wasted?" asked Timmy, his brow furrowed with concern. The food guardians sighed sadly. "When food is wasted, it not only goes uneaten, but all the energy and effort that went into growing, it is also wasted. The Earth's resources are precious, and wasting food harms the environment." Timmy felt a pang of guilt in his heart. He realized that he had been taking food for granted, not fully appreciating its value. Determined to make a change, he asked the food guardians how he could help. The food guardians smiled warmly at Timmy. "It starts with small actions," they said. "You can start by taking only what you need and eating everything on your plate. If you have leftovers, find creative ways to use them or share them with those in need." Timmy nodded eagerly, his eyes shining with newfound understanding. From that day forward, he became an ambassador for the food guardians, spreading their message of not wasting food throughout the village. He organized community events where villagers would learn to cook with leftovers, transforming them into delicious meals. Timmy also started a composting program, teaching others how to turn food scraps into nutrient-rich soil for the garden. Word of Timmy's efforts spread far and wide, and soon neighboring villages began adopting the practices he had learned from the food guardians. People started appreciating the value of every bite and pledging to reduce food waste. As the years went by, the village became a shining example of sustainability and mindful eating. The food guardians watched with pride as Timmy's village flourished, their once forgotten garden now a symbol of unity and abundance. And so, the tale of Timmy and the food guardians teaches us all an important lesson: to cherish the food on our plates, to be mindful of our consumption, and to work together to create a world where no food goes to waste. Once upon a time, in the vibrant forest of whispering pines, there lived a young squirrel named Charlie. Charlie was known for his playful nature and his love for scampering through the trees, collecting acorns, and exploring the enchanting woods. But just like any other creature, Charlie sometimes experienced moments of sadness. One crisp autumn morning, as Charlie was leaping from branch to branch, he felt a sudden heaviness in his little squirrel heart. His once bright eyes dulled, and he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of sadness. He nestled himself on a cozy tree branch and let out a sigh. As Charlie sat there, his tiny paws clasped together, he noticed a wise old owl named Oliver perched gracefully on a nearby branch. Oliver was known throughout the forest as a sage and a trusted advisor. Curiosity sparked within Charlie, and he gathered his courage to approach Oliver. "Mr. Oliver," he whispered, "I'm feeling so sad, and I don't know what to do. Can you help me?" Oliver turned his head, fixing his wise gaze upon Charlie. "Of course, my young friend," he replied in a hushed tone. "Sadness is a natural part of life, even for the brightest of souls. It's important to acknowledge your feelings and learn how to navigate through them." Eagerly, Charlie perked up his fluffy ears, absorbing Oliver's wisdom. "When you're feeling sad," Oliver continued, "it's crucial to express your emotions. Find a trusted friend or family member to share your feelings with. Talking about your sadness can provide comfort and relief." Charlie nodded, his eyes glistening with newfound understanding. "I will remember to reach out to my loved ones," he whispered gratefully. Oliver smiled, his eyes sparkling in the dappled sunlight. "Another way to handle sadness," he shared, "is to engage in activities that bring you joy. Find solace in the things that make your little squirrel heart dance with happiness. Whether it's leaping through the treetops, gathering acorns, or playing with your forest friends, these activities can help lift your spirits and bring back your joy." Charlie's bushy tail swayed excitedly as he imagined all the delightful things that brought him happiness. "I love hopping between branches and playing chase with my squirrel friends," he exclaimed. Oliver nodded approvingly. "Exactly, Charlie. Embracing activities that bring you joy acts as a healing balm for your soul. It helps you find your way back to the happiness that resides within you." Charlie's sadness began to lift, replaced by a glimmer of hope. He looked up at Oliver, his eyes shining with gratitude. "But, Mr. Oliver, how long will my sadness last?" he inquired, his voice timid. Oliver hopped closer to Charlie, his feathers ruffling softly. "Sadness, my dear friend, is like a passing cloud in the sky," he gently explained. "Sometimes it lingers for a brief moment, and other times it lingers longer. But just as the clouds disperse and reveal the warm glow of the sun, your sadness too shall fade away. Be patient, give yourself time, and trust that joy will find its way back to you." Comforted by Oliver's wise words, Charlie thanked him graciously before scampering back to his cozy squirrel nest. He knew that sadness was a natural part of life, and now he possessed the tools to navigate through it. Once upon a time, there was a little dog named Noah. Noah was a lively and adventurous dog who loved exploring and discovering new things in the forest. However, one day, he encountered a challenge he had never faced before. Noah decided to venture deep into the forest. He ran through the dense trees and found himself on an unfamiliar path. Suddenly, he realized he was lost. Noah felt scared and confused, not knowing how to find his way back home. Noah looked around but couldn't spot any familiar landmarks. He started to feel discouraged and worried, but he knew he couldn't give up. He told himself, "I must face this challenge bravely and find my way home." Noah began to think of ways to solve his problem. He recalled the navigation skills his owner had taught him. He observed the position of the sun and determined a general direction. Noah used his knowledge and intuition and started walking along a small stream, hoping it would lead him home. However, Noah's difficulties were not over yet. As he continued along the stream, he encountered a towering mountain. Noah felt helpless, not knowing how to cross it. But he remembered his owner's words, "Stay brave and persistent in the face of difficulties." Noah stood before the mountain and began searching for a path that would lead to its summit. He climbed steep slopes, one step at a time. He felt exhausted, but he refused to give up. Eventually, Noah successfully scaled the mountain and was greeted by a familiar landscape. Noah barked with joy. "I found my way home." He ran back onto the forest trail and imagined that he could soon reach his own cozy doghouse. Noah felt incredibly proud because he had demonstrated bravery and perseverance in the face of adversity. However, Noah's adventure was not yet over. As he was running on his way back, he suddenly heard a terrifying growl. He stopped in his tracks and saw a massive wolf approaching him. Noah was frightened and realized he was facing real danger. Noah couldn't escape, knowing the wolf would chase him. He quickly recalled the strategies his owner had taught him to deal with danger. He calmed himself down and observed his surroundings. He noticed a small cave nearby and decided to seek refuge inside it. Noah hurriedly ran towards the cave, squeezing himself in and hiding. He held his breath, trying to make himself as inconspicuous as possible. The wolf came closer, but luckily, it didn't detect Noah's presence. The wolf continued on its way, disappearing into the depths of the forest. Noah breathed a sigh of relief, knowing he had narrowly escaped danger. He waited for some time, making sure the wolf was no longer nearby, and then cautiously emerged from the cave. Noah felt proud and grateful because he had successfully dealt with the perilous situation. In the end, Noah returned to his home, where he shared his adventure and the challenges he had faced with his friends. His friends amazed with his bravery and cleverness, emphasizing that every challenge was an opportunity for growth. From that day forward, Noah became even braver and more resilient. No matter what difficulties he faced, he believed in his ability to overcome them. He knew that by staying calm, observing his environment, and utilizing his knowledge and intuition, he would bravely face any challenge and find his way back home. And these experiences transformed him into a true adventurer of the forest. In a cozy, busy city called Brightville, there lived a lively and imaginative girl named Mia. Mia loved exploring the colorful streets and parks, but her small apartment was always messy. Toys, books, and clothes were scattered everywhere, making it hard for her to find what she needed. One sunny day, Mia's wise neighbor, Miss Evelyn, noticed the state of her apartment. Miss Evelyn had a sparkle in her eyes as she said, "Mia, do you know about decluttering?" Mia looked curious and asked, "What's decluttering, Miss Evelyn?" Miss Evelyn sat Mia down and explained, "Decluttering means getting rid of things we no longer need or use. It helps make our lives simpler and more enjoyable." Mia leaned in, eager to learn more. Miss Evelyn continued, "When we let go of unnecessary stuff, our space becomes less cluttered, and it's easier to find what we need. We have more time for the things that truly matter." Mia imagined having a clean apartment where she could play and dance freely. She thought about how much more fun she could have exploring the city and spending time with friends without too many things getting in the way. Miss Evelyn smiled kindly and once said, but decluttering isn't just about our physical space. It's also about how we feel inside. When we let go of things we no longer need, we create room for happiness, peace, and new experiences. Excited, Mia wanted to experience the magic of decluttering. With Miss Evelyn's guidance, they started decluttering Mia's apartment. They went through Mia's toys, books, and clothes, asking, "Do I really need this?" And "Does this bring me joy?" Mia discovered that letting go of things she no longer used or loved made her feel lighter and happier. As Mia's apartment became more organized, she enjoyed her space even more. She had a cozy corner for reading, a special area for playing with her toys, and a clear space for dancing. Mia realized that decluttering was more than just her apartment. It was a way of living. She made thoughtful choices when shopping, considering what truly mattered. She also loved donating her gently used items to help others. With each step in her journey of decluttering, Mia felt more peaceful and content. She had more time to explore the city, visit museums, and enjoy its vibrant culture. Mia treasured moments with her friends and family, creating lasting memories. And so, Mia's journey of decluttering in the bustling city of Brightville brought her joy, peace, and a newfound appreciation for the beauty of a clutter-free life. A long time ago, in a quaint little village, there lived a cheerful and mischievous boy named Jonathan. Jonathan had a special habit that he just couldn't seem to get rid of. Every time he got frustrated or nervous, he would bite his nails. His family and friends worried about him, and they decided to help Jonathan break this bad habit. One sunny day, Jonathan's wise grandmother, Granny Matilda, paid him a visit. Granny Matilda was known for her magical wisdom. She had a twinkle in her eye and a pocket full of enchantments. Jonathan shared his worries about his nail-biting habit with Granny Matilda, hoping she would have a solution. Granny Matilda smiled warmly and said, "Jonathan, my dear, I have just the thing for you. But remember, breaking a habit requires determination and a sprinkle of magic." Curiosity filled Jonathan's heart as Granny Matilda reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, shiny magic stone. "This stone," she explained, "is called the Bad Habit Breaker. It has the power to help you overcome your bad habit." Excited and hopeful, Jonathan held the stone in his hand. Granny Matilda continued, "Whenever you feel the urge to bite your nails, hold the enchanted habit breaker tightly and say, 'I am strong, I am brave. This habit I will surely waive.'" Jonathan nodded, ready to give it a try. From that moment on, whenever the temptation to bite his nails arose, he gripped the bad habit breaker and repeated the magic words. Slowly but surely, Jonathan found himself biting his nails less and less. The bad habit breaker was working its magic. But breaking a habit wasn't easy. Jonathan faced challenges along the way. Sometimes he forgot to use the stone, and other times he would catch himself biting his nails absent-mindedly. Whenever he stumbled, Granny Matilda would encourage him with her loving words. "Don't be disheartened, my dear Jonathan," she would say. "Breaking a habit takes time and patience. Remember, you are strong and brave." With Granny Matilda's support and the power of the bad habit breaker, Jonathan's determination grew. He started finding other ways to keep his hands busy, like drawing, playing with toys, or squeezing a stress ball. every day, Jonathan's nails grew longer, and his habit grew weaker. One sunny afternoon, as Jonathan and Granny Matilda sat in the garden, Jonathan realized something magical. He looked down at his hands and noticed his nails were long and neat, no longer bitten. Granny Matilda smiled proudly and said, "You did it, Jonathan. You broke the habit. I knew you could. Remember, the power to change is within you." Jonathan beamed with joy and gratitude. He hugged Granny Matilda tightly, knowing that her wisdom and the amazing habit breaker had helped him overcome his bad habit. From that day forward, Jonathan kept the bad habit breaker in a special place as a reminder of his strength and determination. He shared his story with his friends and taught them the magic words and the power of believing in themselves. And so, the enchanted bad habit breaker became a cherished talisman in the village, helping children and grown-ups alike overcome their bad habits. Jonathan's story spread far and wide, inspiring others to break free from their own unwanted habits. And they all lived happily and habit-free ever after. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Oliver. He had a group of friends with whom he spent a lot of time sharing their daily adventures. However, as time went by, Oliver began to realize that some of these friends were causing him a lot of trouble. For example, one day, Oliver's friend David invited him to a party. The party was filled with wild behavior and unhealthy activities. David and the others got caught up in all the noise and chaos. Oliver knew deep down that this kind of party wasn't right for him. He preferred quiet and meaningful moments. As time passed, Oliver started to understand that these troublesome friends were having a negative impact on his life. They often caused arguments and conflicts, and their behavior made Oliver feel uncomfortable and unhappy. He started thinking about how he could distance himself from these troublesome friends to protect his own happiness and well-being. So, Oliver decided to take action. He gradually reduced the frequency of his contact with these friends, like texting and calling, and chose to meet them less often. He also learned to set boundaries by expressing his values, needs, and expectations clearly. Finding support was another important step for Oliver to break away from this troublesome circle. He actively sought out new friends who had a positive influence on his goals and values. He made friends with his family, other friends, and people who shared his interests. They encouraged him, provided support, and engaged in constructive interactions that made him feel happy and fulfilled. When faced with his troublesome friends, Oliver stayed calm and mature. He no longer let their negative behavior or words affect his emotions and actions. He learned to keep his distance from them, avoiding unnecessary arguments or conflicts. Finally, Oliver realized that he needed professional support to handle these troublesome friendships. He found a counselor whom he could talk to about his confusion and challenges. The counselor gave him advice and guidance, helping him better navigate these relationships and find suitable solutions. Over time, Oliver gradually distanced himself from those troublesome friends. His life became more peaceful and meaningful. He found like-minded people to pursue his dreams and happiness with. He learned an important lesson. Protecting his own happiness is an important responsibility, and choosing to distance himself from friends who cause trouble is a wise decision. By reducing contact, setting boundaries, seeking support, avoiding negative activities, staying calm and mature, and seeking professional help, Oliver successfully distanced himself from those troublesome friends and found healthier and more beneficial relationships, making his life full of positive energy and happiness. In a bustling city, there was a young boy named Liam who loved playing video games. Whenever he saw a new game or heard his friends talking about a popular game, he couldn't wait to have them. Liam's parents believed that such spending habits were not healthy, and they wanted to teach Liam the importance of frugality and careful money management. To achieve this goal, Liam's parents gave him a little task. They gave him a transparent glass jar and told him that whenever he wanted a new game, he would have to make some effort to earn money. Each time Liam completed a task, he could put some coins into the glass jar. Liam embarked on his journey of frugality. He helped with household chores like cleaning his room, washing dishes, sweeping the floor, taking out the trash, and more. Every time he completed a task, he received some coins, which he would then put into the glass jar. His parents encouraged him to save and explained that this way he could fulfill his dreams. As time went by, Liam's glass jar started filling up. He began to understand the value of money and the importance of being frugal. He started considering whether each expense was worth it and learned to prioritize the games he truly liked. One day, Liam finally filled up the glass jar. Excitedly, he told his parents that he was ready to use the money to buy the game he had been dreaming of. However, his parents asked him if he was absolutely sure that this was what he wanted, considering the time and effort it took to save that money. After thinking for a while, Liam had a realization. He understood that games were just temporary enjoyment, while the money he had saved could help him achieve more long-term and valuable goals, such as traveling or learning a new skill. He decided to continue being frugal and put the money into a bank account for future planning. Liam's parents were amazed and touched. They saw their child had learned how to use money carefully and understood the importance of saving for the future. They were proud of Liam and decided to give him a special reward as recognition for his frugality and financial skills. Since then, Liam continued to maintain his habits of frugality and careful money management. He understood that money was a limited resource that needed to be used wisely. He also learned the value of hard work and saving, and he passed on these values to his friends and family. Liam's story became an inspiring example for other children, teaching them how to cultivate frugality and careful money management in their everyday lives. Once upon a time, in the whimsical world of Giggleville, there lived a young and adventurous bunny named Benny. Benny was always up for a challenge and loved exploring new places. One day, as he hopped through the forest, he came across a towering mountain blocking his path. "Oh, my floppy ears! How will I ever get to the other side?" Benny wondered, scratching his head. The mountain seemed too steep to climb, and he couldn't find a way around it. But Benny was determined not to let this obstacle stop him from his grand adventure. With a twinkle in his eyes, Benny decided to seek advice from the wise old turtle, Tilly. Tilly was known for her wisdom and patience, and she lived in a cozy little pond at the edge of the forest. Benny hopped over to Tilly's pond and asked, "Oh, wise Tilly, how can I tackle this enormous mountain and continue my journey?" Tilly slowly blinked her old eyes and replied, "Benny, my dear friend, the key to overcoming difficult tasks lies in finding your own unique approach." Benny nodded, understanding that he needed to come up with a clever plan. He thought about his bouncy nature and his ability to hop high. And then it hit him like a carrot in the face. He would use his incredible jumping skills to conquer the mountain. With a spring in his step, Benny prepared for his epic leap. He took a few hops back, wiggled his fluffy tail for good luck, and then propelled himself forward with all his might. Up, up, up he went, soaring through the air like a giggling rocket. But as Benny reached the peak of his jump, he realized he had underestimated the mountain's height. Uh-oh, he was still a bit too far from the other side. With a nervous chuckle, Benny flapped his ears like wings, hoping to catch a gust of wind and glide across. But alas, his bunny ears were not meant for flying, and he landed back on the ground with a soft thud. Benny dusted himself off and pondered his next move. He couldn't give up now. Then he noticed a group of friendly ants marching in a neat line nearby. They were carrying tiny sticks on their backs, working together to build a bridge. "Bingo! I've got it!" Benny exclaimed, hopping over to the ants. "Would you kind ants help me build a bridge to cross this mountain?" The ants agreed, and together they gathered sticks, leaves, and pebbles. They worked tirelessly, constructing a sturdy bridge that stretched from one side of the mountain to the other. Benny hopped across the bridge, his heart filled with gratitude for his tiny friends. As Benny continued his adventure, he realized that tackling difficult tasks wasn't always about doing it alone. Sometimes, asking for help and working together with others could make all the difference. And so, dear young ones, remember Benny the bunny's tale when faced with challenging obstacles. Embrace your unique strengths, be open to seeking advice from wise friends, and never forget the power of teamwork. In the land of Giggleville, where laughter fills the air, even the tallest mountains can be conquered with a little creativity and a lot of giggles. Long time ago, in a bustling city, there lived a kind-hearted little girl named Isabella. She had a heart as warm as the glowing embers of a fireplace, and her favorite time of the year was Christmas. Isabella loved the twinkling lights, the scent of freshly baked cookies, and the joy that filled the air. One frosty winter day, as Isabella walked through the busy streets, she noticed a group of homeless people huddled together, trying to keep warm. The sight tugged at her heartstrings, and she couldn't bear the thought of them spending Christmas without any joy or warmth. Determined to make a difference, Isabella wanted to create a Christmas that filled with love and happiness for the homeless. Isabella rallied the help of her friends, family, and the community. They collected warm blankets, hats, scarves, and gloves to keep the homeless warm during the cold winter nights. They also gathered food, warm drinks, and treats to share on Christmas Eve. Isabella spent hours crafting handmade cards and ornaments with the help of her friends. Each card carried a heartfelt message of hope and love, and the ornaments were adorned with glitter and colorful ribbons. On Christmas Eve, Isabella and her companions transformed a small park into a winter wonderland. They decorated trees, hung twinkling lights, and set up a makeshift stage for carolers to perform. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter and joy. As the sun began to set, Isabella and her friends invited the homeless individuals to the park. Their eyes widened with surprise and delight as they beheld the magical scene before them. Isabella handed each person a warm blanket, hat, and gloves, and they gratefully accepted the gifts. Together, they sat around a bonfire, sipping hot cocoa and sharing stories. Isabella's friends sang beautiful carols, and the homeless individuals joined in, their voices blending harmoniously with the music. Isabella's heart swelled with happiness as she watched the smiles on the faces of the homeless individuals. They forgot their worries for a while and experienced the warmth of love and compassion. Before parting ways, Isabella handed out the handmade cards and ornaments, each one carrying a message of hope and encouragement. Tears welled up in the eyes of the homeless as they read the heartfelt words written by Isabella and her friends. As the night came to a close, Isabella realized that the true spirit of Christmas was not found in lavish gifts or fancy decorations. It was about spreading love, kindness, and bringing joy to those in need. From that day forward, Isabella continued to help the homeless and less fortunate during the Christmas season. She inspired others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of compassion and goodwill throughout the community. And so, the story of Isabella, the little girl who dedicated herself to helping the poor celebrate Christmas, became a legend in the city. Her selfless acts of kindness touched the hearts of many, reminding everyone that the true magic of Christmas lies in giving, sharing, and spreading love to those in need. Once upon a time, in a small town called Riverside, there lived a young boy named Alex. Alex was a bright and curious child, always filled with ideas and dreams. However, there was one thing about Alex that often got him into trouble. He was a chronic procrastinator. He had a habit of putting off tasks and assignments until the last minute, causing him to rush and often be late for important events. One sunny morning, as Alex dragged himself out of bed, he realized with a start that he was already late for school. He hurriedly threw on his clothes, grabbed his backpack, and dashed out the door. As he sprinted down the street, he collided with a stranger, causing both of them to stumble and fall to the ground. "I'm so sorry," Alex exclaimed, helping the stranger up. "I'm in such a rush today. I'm late for school, and it's all because I procrastinated again." The stranger, an elderly man with kind eyes and a gentle smile, dusted himself off and looked at Alex thoughtfully. "Ah, procrastination. A slippery slope indeed," he chuckled. "But my young friend, let me share a story with you." Curiosity piqued, Alex sat down on the nearby bench as the stranger began his tale. "Once, there was a man just like you. He had big dreams and ambitions, but he always put off taking action. He believed he had all the time in the world, until one day, opportunity knocked on his door, and he was ill-prepared. He missed his chance to achieve something great, and it haunted him for the rest of his life." Alex listened intently, his eyes widening with each word. He realized the stranger was trying to teach him a valuable lesson about the consequences of procrastination. But it's never too late to change, the stranger continued. You have the power to take control of your time and be punctual. By doing so, you will not only avoid the stress and rush, but you will also open doors to new opportunities and experiences. Alex nodded, absorbing the stranger's wisdom. You're right, he said earnestly. I need to stop procrastinating and start being more punctual. I don't want to miss out on the things that matter. The stranger smiled warmly. That's the spirit, young Alex. Remember, time is a precious resource. Use it wisely, and you'll find that life becomes more fulfilling. From that day forward, Alex made a conscious effort to break free from his procrastination habits. He started planning his days, setting deadlines for himself, and sticking to them. As a result, he became more organized and efficient, completing tasks with ease and never missing important events again. Years passed, and Alex grew up to become a successful and punctual young man. He achieved his dreams and aspirations, all because he had learned the importance of being on time and taking action when needed. Whenever Alex passed by the old bench in Riverside, he couldn't help but smile, remembering the stranger who had taught him such a valuable lesson. He made a vow to himself to pay it forward, reminding others about the importance of being punctual and seizing the opportunities that came their way. And so, with newfound wisdom, Alex stepped into the world, ready to make the most of each moment and never be late again. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town, there lived a cheerful and curious boy named Sammy. Sammy was always up to some mischief and loved going on exciting adventures. One sunny morning, as Sammy was getting ready to go out and play, he realized something terrible. He had lost his key. "Oh no!" Sammy exclaimed, scratching his head. "Where could my key be?" He looked so frustrated. Sammy searched high and low, inside and outside, but his key was nowhere to be found. He looked under his bed, in his toy chest, and even in his favorite hiding spots, but his key had vanished. Feeling a bit worried, Sammy decided to retrace his steps. He thought back to all the places he had been that day. First, he went to the park, where he flew high on the swings and slid down the slippery slide. But no key there. Next, Sammy checked the ice cream shop, where he enjoyed a delicious scoop of chocolate ice cream. He looked around the tables and asked the kind ice cream seller, "Have you seen my key?" But the key was nowhere in sight. Feeling a bit discouraged, Sammy sat down on a bench, thinking hard. Suddenly, he heard a little giggle coming from behind him. He turned around and saw a mischievous squirrel holding his key in its tiny paws. "Hey, Mr. Squirrel, that's my key," Sammy exclaimed, trying to catch the tricky critter. But the squirrel was too fast for him. It scurried away, climbing up a tall tree. Determined not to give up, Sammy followed the squirrel as it hopped from tree to tree. The chase led them to the edge of a beautiful forest. Sammy's heart pounded with excitement as he ventured into the mysterious woods. Through bushes and branches, Sammy raced after the squirrel until they reached a sparkling stream. The The squirrel hopped onto a log, balancing precariously while still clutching the key. But just as the squirrel was about to make another daring leap, it slipped and dropped the key into the stream with a splash. "Oh, no!" Sammy gasped, his eyes widening. "My key is swimming away." Without a second thought, Sammy jumped into the stream, splashing and swimming as fast as he could. The water tickled his toes, and the fish swam alongside him, cheering him on. After a thrilling chase, Sammy managed to grab the key before it floated away. Sammy climbed out of the stream, soaked but triumphant. He held his key high above his head, grinning from ear to ear. "I found you, key. You can't escape from me." With his key safely back in his pocket, Sammy made his way back home, feeling like a true hero of his own adventure. He knew that sometimes, even when things seemed lost, with a little determination and a lot of courage, they could be found again. And so, Sammy's mischievous key hunt became a tale of bravery and a reminder to never give up, no matter how challenging the search may be. From that day forward, Sammy always kept his key safe, and whenever he looked at it, he remembered the thrilling adventure that led him to find it once more. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a little girl named Lily. Lily loved to explore the world around her. She was always filled with curiosity, and her favorite place to visit was the enchanted forest. One sunny morning, Lily woke up with an exciting idea. She decided to embark on an adventure to find a magical flower that bloomed only once every 100 years. It was said that this flower had the power to grant a special wish to anyone who found it. With her heart filled with hope, Lily set off on her journey. As she wandered deeper into the enchanted forest, Lily encountered talking animals, sparkling streams, and colorful flowers. However, as the time passed, Lily grew impatient. She started to feel discouraged, thinking that she would never find the magical flower. Lily sat down beneath a tall oak tree, feeling tired and disheartened. A wise old turtle approached her. The turtle had seen many adventures throughout his long life and had learned the value of patience. He said to Lily, "Little one, patience is a virtue that brings great rewards. The magical flower you seek requires patience, for it blooms only when the time is right." Lily looked up at the wise old turtle with curiosity. She realized that she had been rushing through her journey, always in pursuit of the next exciting thing. She had forgotten to slow down and appreciate the beauty around her. Taking the turtle's words to heart, Lily decided to practice patience. She slowed her pace, noticing the intricate patterns on the tree bark, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the songs of birds. She learned to sit quietly, observing the world around her and letting go of her impatience. Time passed gradually. Lily embraced patience with a newfound sense of calmness and serenity. She trusted that the magical flower would reveal itself when the time was right. Finally, on a warm summer's day, as Lily sat beneath a rainbow-colored waterfall, she noticed a small bud peeking through the green foliage. Excitement filled her heart as she watched the bud slowly unfurl, revealing the most magnificent flower she had ever seen. Its petals glowed with all the colors of the rainbow, and a sweet, delicate fragrance filled the air. Lily knew that her patience had paid off. She approached the magical flower with reverence and whispered her special wish. As she did, A gentle breeze carried her wish into the world, and she felt a deep sense of gratitude and joy. From that day forward, Lily carried the wisdom of patience in her heart. She understood that sometimes the most beautiful things in life require time and perseverance. And whenever she felt impatient, she would remember the wise old turtle and how he had taught her to appreciate the journey as much as the destination. And so, Lily continued to explore the world with a patient spirit, knowing that great things awaited her if she simply trusted in the magic of patience. In a cozy little house, there lived a creative and imaginative girl named Megan. Megan loved to draw, read books, and play with her toys. However, her room was always in a state of chaos. Toys were scattered on the floor, clothes were piled up, and art supplies were everywhere. Megan's mom, Mrs. Johnson, would often remind her to tidy up, but Megan didn't find it very exciting. One sunny morning, Megan woke up with a burst of energy and a determination to transform her messy room into a magical haven. She decided it was time for a room makeover adventure. With a skip in her step, Megan put on her favorite music and called out, "Today is the day I'll turn my room into a wonderland." As if by magic, her toys seemed to come to life. Mr. Teddy, her loyal bear, hopped off the bed, and Miss Kitty, her fluffy cat plush, jumped off the shelf. They were just as excited as Megan to start the room makeover adventure. Together, Megan and her trusty toy companions began their journey to tidy up the room. They danced around, singing and laughing as they picked up toys and put them in their proper places. Mr. Teddy carefully arranged the stuffed animals, while Miss Kitty playfully batted away small items into a basket. Megan's mom peeked into the room and smiled, seeing her daughter so enthusiastic about tidying up. She joined in, helping Megan organize her art supplies. They sorted the markers, crayons, and colored pencils into neat compartments, making it easier for Megan to find them during her creative moments. As they worked, Megan and her toy friends discovered hidden treasures beneath the mess. A forgotten puzzle, a favorite book, and even a shiny necklace. They realized that tidying up wasn't just about making the room look nice, but also about finding joy in the things they loved. With the room starting to take shape, Megan and her toy companions brainstormed ideas to make it even more magical. They hung colorful curtains, put up twinkling fairy lights, and arranged her artwork on the walls. Megan's room was transforming into a wonderland right before her eyes. As the makeover adventure reached its end, Megan's room had transformed into a beautiful and organized space. The toys had their own special shelves and baskets, and Megan's art supplies were neatly stored. Her bed was made with fluffy pillows and a cozy blanket, inviting her to relax and dream. Megan stood in her newly transformed room, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. She realized that tidying up wasn't just a chore. It was a way to create a peaceful and inspiring environment where her imagination could flourish. From that day forward, Megan embraced the importance of keeping her room clean and organized. She learned that tidying up could be fun and rewarding, and it made her feel happy and calm. Megan also discovered that a tidy room allowed her to focus on her passions and enjoy her time spent in her magical wonderland. Once upon a time, there was a little dog named Noah. Noah was a lively and adventurous dog who loved exploring and discovering new things in the forest. However, one day, he encountered a challenge he had never faced before. Noah decided to venture deep into the forest. He ran through the dense trees and found himself on an unfamiliar path. Suddenly, he realized he was lost. Noah felt scared and confused, not knowing how to find his way back home. Noah looked around but couldn't spot any familiar landmarks. He started to feel discouraged and worried, but he knew he couldn't give up. He told himself, "I must face this challenge bravely and find my way home." Noah began to think of ways to solve his problem. He recalled the navigation skills his owner had taught him. He observed the position of the sun and determined a general direction. Noah used his knowledge and intuition and started walking along a small stream, hoping it would lead him home. However, Noah's difficulties were not over yet. As he continued along the stream, he encountered a towering mountain. Noah felt helpless, not knowing how to cross it. But he remembered his owner's words, "Stay brave and persistent in the face of difficulties." Noah stood before the mountain and began searching for a path that would lead to its summit. He climbed steep slopes, one step at a time. He felt exhausted, but he refused to give up. Eventually, Noah successfully scaled the mountain and was greeted by a familiar landscape. Noah barked with joy. "I found my way home." He ran back onto the forest trail and imagined that he could soon reach his own cozy doghouse. Noah felt incredibly proud because he had demonstrated bravery and perseverance in the face of adversity. However, Noah's adventure was not yet over. As he was running on his way back, he suddenly heard a terrifying growl. He stopped in his tracks and saw a massive wolf approaching him. Noah was frightened and realized he was facing real danger. Noah couldn't escape, knowing the wolf would chase him. He quickly recalled the strategies his owner had taught him to deal with danger. He calmed himself down and observed his surroundings. He noticed a small cave nearby and decided to seek refuge inside it. Noah hurriedly ran towards the cave, squeezing himself in and hiding. He held his breath, trying to make himself as inconspicuous as possible. The wolf came closer, but luckily, it didn't detect Noah's presence. The wolf continued on its way, disappearing into the depths of the forest. Noah breathed a sigh of relief, knowing he had narrowly escaped danger. He waited for some time, making sure the wolf was no longer nearby, and then cautiously emerged from the cave. Noah felt proud and grateful because he had successfully dealt with the perilous situation. In the end, Noah returned to his home, where he shared his adventure and the challenges he had faced with his friends. His friends amazed with his bravery and cleverness, emphasizing that every challenge was an opportunity for growth. From that day forward, Noah became even braver and more resilient. No matter what difficulties he faced, he believed in his ability to overcome them. He knew that by staying calm, observing his environment, and utilizing his knowledge and intuition, he would bravely face any challenge and find his way back home. And these experiences transformed him into a true adventurer of the forest.